it's really just given me more of a like laser direction of like now I have these fundamental foundational practices in the ground with my stake, and I know where to go. Like when I wake up in the morning or when I'm feeling a certain way and I need to release or to realign, I know what to go towards and I know what to do. And that's like incredibly helpful. And having also not only you, but the other men in the training and just like showing up every week has been just like super powerful, super potent, like to have other brothers who are in this with you. And knowing that they're in this, a similar place, different, obviously, in many ways, because everyone's, their own unique individual, but just knowing that we were all in the same boat, like we're all here to do this work. And it just kind of almost more solidified that like okay like we're all fucking doing this, like show up, like show your brothers, like this is the, you said you wanted to do this, so let's go for it. And yeah, those are some of the biggest ones. Let me just look through some of the other things I wrote down here.
Said you wrote down you wrote your own little list, bro, of
I
just
did. I did
accolades. I'm
because
really
there's so
excited.
much, there's
I'm
so
so
much.
excited, bro. Well, really quick before I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear your shares, but I just wanted to reflect back to you, man, that my own witness of your transformation has been just as powerful. Like you inspire me too, and that's the work we're doing. Is like what's awakening in you is awakening in me, and like it's been such an honor, man, to share this path with you and to witness your energy shift, and to step deeper into alignment, like you said, within yourself. And right at the end there, when you were talking about like having this toolkit, having like when you wake up, when your energy's off, just, and having this devotion, having the discipline, having the daily accountability, building the muscle of coherence from the inside out that is experienced. It's not just another course of like mental
Yeah.
information overload, shiny object syndrome. I try to even honestly like weed people out of the program that I know are just seeking more information and more mental masturbation, because that's the default of information overload. But for you to actually be embodying it, like
Yeah.
that's what it's all for. So like I really appreciate you sharing that. And it's been an honor, man, to witness you in that.
Dude, thank you. Thank you for that reflection. And yeah, just something you mentioned right there reminded me of another thing that really hit me throughout the course was like, yeah, working from the inside out. When you hear that, you might just kind of pass it off, kind of like I did when I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, inside out, okay. But yeah, like truly, like working from the inside of yourself first before handling any external situations, your parents, your girlfriend, your friends, like instead of trying to fix them, because I feel like, that's something I feel like we've all been a part of like trying to like go outward and like, you know, do whatever it is that we're trying to do to fix anything. But yeah, the inside out game is so real. Like going in and just seeing, like doing it all for yourself. I'm like quiet little mouse, and you're just doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it. Devotion, practice, 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 without saying a word, and just seeing how your reality like just changes. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's true, and that game is so real. It's so real, and it's a lot less effort, and it's more valuable than going external in because it's something that you will have always, forever, when you start working on that stuff. Instead of just like temporary situations that may be this, maybe that. It's like this is you and you have this life for as long as you get it. And, then you can bring that light and like, yeah, I loved the visualization of just like shining, shining that energy that we cultivate in this course. Like yeah, it's incredible. So, yeah.
Bro, yeah, the that I feel like that BDE, that big divine energy, and I know that, you've talked a lot about a lot of your path has been this sort of masculine embodiment, stepping
Yeah.
into that confidence because like I do what I say I do, I bring coherence to my word. like you said, I'm a little mouse that's just like building up my energy in the background. I'm not talking it out, I'm not bragging about it, but witnessing that shift from the inside out, especially in partnership. And I'd love to touch on this because, you're in partnership with a really powerful woman, who's a mutual friend of ours. And I'd love to hear a little bit of your experience with your sexual energy, which we know is connected to everything we're talking about, right? But
Yeah.
is there anything you wanted to share around experiences you had throughout this course in terms of your sexual energy? What shifted there?
Yeah, like I would describe myself even just before this course as like an intentional person who like brings that to sex. And it was that, and it was great, and it was good in so many ways. And I with light knowledge of like, stay with the breath and like noticing tension during sex and all that. That's those are, loose things I'm familiar with and aware of. But in this course, I feel like it really just like ramped up my awareness in like where I am during sex and like how I'm breathing, where I'm holding tension in the body, because so many of the practices in this course have been just like sinking over and over and over again. And like when you really devote yourself to the practice of doing this work, and like, yeah, your videos are incredibly helpful, and I think they're a fantastic guide. And I would say videos are great, but the Zoom calls, like the weekly Zoom calls, are phenomenal. Like when we go into practice all together online, like that's where I felt a ton of traction. Um, and honestly, I will share my thought about that too, just quickly. I really didn't think that the Zoom calls would be as potent as they really did feel to me. But I was proved very wrong. I was like, okay, Zoom call, it's not gonna feel super connected, whatever. And no, I was absolutely proved wrong there. But yeah, the shifts mainly in the sexual energy, the breath, and the Kegels and the like everything just matched up with breath and all the different practices that we did. And I will just say that I was definitely lasting longer and I was having way more pleasure than I expected. Like there was one night I already did a little clip for you here on our another Zoom call about this, but um yeah, just like an unexpected wave of just pleasure through my entire body that it was very new, very, very new. I hadn't felt that in a very long time. And getting back to that was just like a reset. And I'm like, okay, this is why we were doing this work. And yeah, and that it was just like also experience based for me, and just like following the practices and doing it on a regular basis was like the most important thing that made it the most potent. Um, there was one other. Oh, right, yeah. So you also talked too about semen retention too, and I was,
Intent.
was
Intention.
intention. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We
Semen
don't retain,
intention.
we don't repress, we
No,
just
yeah, I
flow.
love how you changed that up too, and I need to get that in there. Semen intention. Um, I have, done a little bit of that, but I think by the time after this course, like I, have been leaking my energy elsewhere, sexual and otherwise, just like, energy over here, energy over there. And it's like that's kind of I was describing kind of in the beginning of this kind of like flailing of energy. Like I have a lot of it as, the human that I am, but it's just like when I can rein those things in and like, you know, shift and like create in front of me and like grab things that are intentional that I need to do or want to do, and using semen intention. For me, I'm an artist, so using that in creative ways as well, where bringing yourself up to an edge and then just going straight into work. I know you didn't specifically talk about doing any of that or like specific that to that, but the courses that the videos that I was watching, just kind of you were talking about creative energy and sexual energy and how we can kind of like merge the two and use them in
Mhm.
in our life. And so that's what that meant to me, and that's how it manifested for me. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. What else was I?
I love that you have a list of things you came into this call with, man. That's so endearing.
Yeah, I would love to send it to you too, if you wanted it. But yeah, so that's what I'll say about the sexual energy and stuff like that.
Well, I appreciate what everything you shared, man, and that piece you talked about of harnessing and directing that energy, that same theme, that you brought up initially, bringing that into the bedroom and some of these experiences you had, and like you said, the devotional, consistent practice, which in my opinion, this is what really sets our program apart. Is like you can go out there and get all this information. You can spend thousands of hours on YouTube skimming around, from the millions of practices. But actually having simplified, consistent, potent, modular, systematic approaches that we repeat again and again and again and again, basic, back to basics. There's like the efficiency of simplicity, and I know in the beginning for a lot of guys it's like wax on, wax off, Danielson, but what you just said, like having really simple practices to rewire your autonomic nervous system response to the increasing energy, whether that's the sexual energy or out in the world, pleasure, pain, it's just our nervous system getting activated, right? Learning how
Right.
to rewire that and how to breathe and relax into that and use all these different techniques to channel and move the energy around. And your ability to tap into that and some of the fruits of what that brought about in the sexual space, like feeling more pleasure, having these much, much deeper orgasmic experiences with your partner, and also just what you said, like carrying it out into your life. It's all connected, and yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. I really celebrate you too and all the progress you made in our time together.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just one piece about what you just talked about, like, yeah, you can go on YouTube and look things up, but I mean, I'm like the king of doing that, but has it lasted long? No. I having this guidance and yeah, like exactly what you just said. I just want to confirm that like having it all in one place and it just makes it that much easier and structured with exactly which is how it should be, I think, because I haven't, I've gained some traction on YouTube, whatever. You can go out there, find some stuff, but it's not this cohesive, like, beginning to end with also brothers who are like dropping into a course where you actually get to be a part of something, where versus just watching something who you don't even know or probably even really care about. And it's just like, yeah, dropping into calls with you and watching your videos that are just like beginning to end and a space where you can ask questions and share your experience. Like, that's when it all comes together. So, yeah, I just want to say that's very real for me.
Brother, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Well, I wanted to ask, just I know we have a few more minutes left to wrap up. Is there anything that you would share with any brothers, like if you rewound and like were on the fence and kind of uncertain of whether this would be a good fit for you, or just if you wanted to hear anything, on the outside before you entered this, if you could pass along any words to any brothers considering this program, would there be any that you'd share?
I would say if you're considering doing this work, take it as a sign and do it. That's like the most simple thing I can say. To go into that more, if you're thinking about this work, there's a reason you're thinking about it. And I just encourage you to, think about why you're thinking about it and like really take inventory of why you're even considering this in the first place. And ask yourself how important it is to you at this time. And I would just urge you, like, I mean, I can raise a hand and say that I was on the fence and there was a little bit of, pushback on, whether or not I wanted to make this a priority in my life. And, because it will take your time, but it's time well spent. And I've been through the course and I've worked with you, Ben, and it's been worth every single minute. So, I would say that, and yeah, I think that's probably the simplest way I could put it.
Yeah, man, and I'm sure you would agree that like the deeper this is like we said back full circle to the beginning of this conversation, it's an inside out game. Like the more that we're not wasting our energy and scattered and like all over the place flailing, like you said, the more we learn how to like focus our
Yeah,
energy and deepen, and it's all a game, right? Like it's pleasure as a portal of transformation. Like there's
absolutely.
nothing to lose, there's only things to gain, and from those spaces of clearing our energy and like and directing it into like what actually is our heart's deepest fulfillment. I appreciate you asking, bringing that forward. The question is like, do you want to make this a priority? Because when we bring all of our energy behind what we actually want in life, like and just remove all the bullshit, and we have the witness and accountability of our brothers and we go through these processes together, it completely changes our life, from the inside out. And now you're equipped to have these tools. Like my goal is just to really just eliminate myself as soon as possible to activate more leaders in the world because that's what the
Absolutely.
world needs. So like I just again, man, honor you stepping into the leader that you came here to be, the lover that you came here to be. And that's what this work is all about. So yeah, bro.
Yes.
I know you
Also,
wrote down, I know you had your own list of things. Is there anything else in your list that you wanted to speak in before we hop off?
yeah, I guess I would, just encourage other brothers to do this for yourself. Like it took me some time to invest in myself. Think of all the things that you invest in, like with money, with your time, like how much of that could you maybe, you know, take away and bring something to yourself that is like directly going into you as this vessel that you get your whole life. Like you get to tune in with these practices and get something that will never ever go away. Like just because the 8 weeks is over, like you will still have so much for the rest of your life if you choose to fully open yourself up to this work and like let it come through you. Like just trust it. If you're getting this call, like just go in. Just go in. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, brother. And yeah, just for reference too, for other brothers tuning into, like we do have, even after the 8 weeks, if guys would like to continue staying connected, we do have weekly Brotherhood calls and we monthly dojo calls, and we do have a community. And you also have your accountability partner that you were assigned at the beginning of your journey that you can take with you. And you have
Absolutely.
the format of these daily check-ins and all the systems that we've used that you can even share with your brothers and people you love, to continue spreading this technology really is what it is of accountability of coherence building. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, the one other thing too, well maybe there's a few others, but this one was just like it was a big high for me. And I also just like I gained so much from this specific practice, which was well, two specific practices, I guess, that I've now combined for a morning practice or just whenever I'm feeling activated in my body, my nervous system is high, I'm feeling kind of lit up, is in your course the activation practice and the Qigong. Those were like the two that I do, activation, Qigong, and that is I think it turns out to be honestly probably about 30 minutes, but um, that practice has helped me so much with my nervous system. And mine is, I currently have a dysregulated nervous system. I know that because of food poisoning and damage to my vagus nerve. So, which has caused me, issues in my stomach, and I'm still trying to like figure all that out. But I have narrowed it down to the vagus nerve. Like I definitely know that I've damaged that, and doing these practices has been seriously incredible. Like I've done it one day and I've just really got into the practices, the Qigong, just like melted all that tension away. And like if I do that in the morning, the rest of the day, my symptoms in my stomach, in my gut are like relieved. And it is seriously for the last 3 years, I have not found that much like consistent relief in anything. So, if you also have any nervous system, anything, and most likely you do, everyone kind of does, like everyone's nervous systems get heightened. I personally have a chronic, nervous system dysregulation currently, but I think anyone can benefit from the practices inside the course that just like bring you down. And again, with just the guidance of Ben and the courses you've made and the weekly calls, it really just aligns it all to make sure that everything is cohesive and streamlined and as easy as possible so that you can succeed. So,
Keeping it bite-sized, baby. Keeping it
yes.
bite. Our attention spans are so just fucking small nowadays. 2020,
I know.
like our attention spans, we gotta keep it tight and simple, you know? It's yeah, bro. Thank you for sharing all of that, man. Really celebrating you and all the massive breakthroughs you've had in our time together. Again, thank you for hopping on this call. Appreciate you
Absolutely.
sharing your heart and your journey and your process, man. I know it's going to be so much medicine for other brothers tuning in. So thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, much love, bro.
Much love. See ya.